Good evening, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to continue the reading of the book International Logistics. My name is Felipe. I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. Don't forget, support this channel with donations. Start the notifications. Share this video with your friends. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Thank you very much. Now let us start. If you like, add a commentary. Make your question. Other ocean vessel types. There are many specialized vessels and some so specialized as to be considered one of a kind. Refrigerated carriers, reefers, carry products. The best known are the white banana boats. One is carrying bananas from Latin America. Another large movement today is grapes from Chile to the United States in fully refrigerated vessels. Another specialized type is the heavy lift vessel, with side stabilizer used to counterbalance heavy loads as they are loaded or discharged. Ballast tanks on the side away from the pier are filled as the vessel's crane that extends over the piers starts to lift a heavy load. The weight of water being added to the tanks equals that of the load. Once the load is lifted, as it moves toward the vessel's center, water in the tank is discharged. A drawing of heavy lifted vessels is shown in figure 4.4. Heavy lifted vessels for lifting and moving offshore oil rigs are built so that they can partially submerge, move under the load, rise in the water, lift the load with them, and move to another spot. Barges. In addition to conventional vessels, there are barges, unnamed vessels pulled or pushed by a tugboat. Pusher units are preferred because of the less wave resistance and better control of the barge. The principal saving is in the crew costs, as the tug requires a much smaller crew, 8 or 9, rather than 30 and 35 on a regular ship. In some situations, there are savings in product inventory costs, that is, the firm owns more barges than tugs, and when the tug arrives with a loaded barge, it leaves it behind in the unloaded and picks up a waiting empty barge. This result is saving on wages while in port because the tug merely picks up another barge, whereas a conventional ship would sit and wait while it's being unloaded or loaded. In 1980s, Madison built a self-loading and loading barge for use in intra-Hawaii container trade. A stern thruster is mounted on the barge, controlled by radio from the tug, to eliminate need for a second tug while docking. The stern thruster is at right angles to the vessel and is used to push the bow next to the pier. The barge was designed to carry 260 containers and 1,700 long tons of mollusks. Barges are all used of oversized cargoes, as clearance on water roads are greater than for rail or truck. Hence, if one were building a large structure for shipment to another nation, both the construction site and the destination site must be next to waterways. The structure would be towed across the ocean by barge. One form of this application is the movement of offshore oil drilling rigs. In the late 1970s, a pump plant was built in Japan for use as site in the Amazon River basin in Brazil. Two large barges were built in Japan, one when the pulp plant was constructed, and when the accompanying power plant was built. Care was taken to design both plants so that when a floating barge, the weight distribution would be even. The two barges with plants on top were then towed to Brazil. Heavy lift vessel illustration courtesy of CIGNA Corporation. The destination site, adjacent to the Jari River, had been dragged out and a deck was placed between the dragged area and the river. Water was pumped out and piles were driven in the sites where the mill and the power plant were to be loaded. When the barges arrived, the deck was removed and the area flooded. Each barge was positioned exactly above the piles and the deck rebuilt. As the water was pumped out, both barges settled on the pilings. Windows were cut in the sides of the barges, and the barges became lower floors of the pulp and power plants. It was estimated that construction costs were reduced by 20% and 2 years of time was saved by having the plant built in Japan and towed to Brazil rather than having it constructed in Brazilian sites. There are a small number of floating factories and one either barges or conventional ships that are mainly associated with the fishing industry. They process fish and kill the fish that are being caught as they follow the fishing fleet. Private fleets. Early in the chapter, mention was made of large shippers having private fleets for their exclusive use. This is not unusual, although data are difficult to come. By concerning the actual ownership of many vessels, as of 1st January 1991, U.S. parent firms owned 112 tankers, 29 bulk carriers, and 55 freighters that was registered on foreign nations, and had another 19 vessels under construction overseas, also destined for foreign registration. One would assume that many of these were for use in private fleets for carrying own products. One estimate is that 20% of the tankers are owned by oil companies, 25% by oil production nations, and 55% by independent parties who lease or charter them to the oil companies. Chevrons run ships of many sizes. Some are so large they never come into port built but are loaded and lighted at sea. Some are smaller and can called refineries. Others are very small and used to make wholesale deliveries to markets that can be reached only by vessel, as in Alaska. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we continue. Give us a like, subscribe, don't forget. Thank you very much. Until next time.